Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. One more person who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan has died. It was a person in the 60 to 69 age group in the Saskatoon zone. There are 219 new cases in Saskatchewan, including 8 in the Northwest. 7 of those are in Lloydminster, where we have 44 active cases. There are 77 active cases in the Northwest and just over 2,200 province-wide. 195 people are in hospital, with 8 of those in our zone. 47 people are in intensive care, and more than 221,000 vaccine doses have been administered in Saskatchewan, with close to 15,000 in our zone. A new business recently opened their doors to the border city, a store perfect for anyone who has a sweet tooth. We headed down to Dobbins Lloydminster for more. Dobbins Lloydminster opened on Thursday. While opening a business during a pandemic may be a challenge, Dobbins saw a great reaction from Lloydminster residents.
Absolutely insane. Like, I actually don't even think there's a word to describe how overwhelming the amount of love and support that we've received from the community has been.
Over the Easter weekend, they had many customers stop by, and on some days a line going out of the store. Hill also mentions that so far they've been hit among kids in the border city.
You bring them in, you set them down, and you just watch them. They're just like, oh my gosh, this is the best place ever. One of the girls she goes to school at one of the elementary schools, came in. She had actually drawn us pictures of all of these different types of candies and everything, and she was so excited, and it was one of those heartwarming moments where you're like, oh, okay, the community really needed something like this.
Dobbins believes that the family and local connection they have is what makes their store different.
Everybody that works here is local, and we're a very small, tight-knit little candy family. So us being able to bring something that we're so excited about and that is very fun to us to everybody else, and to be able to create that connection with so many different people, whether it be new little kids coming in and seeing all the candy for the first time, or even older generations coming in and being so excited because of the amount of candies that they haven't seen for years that they're finally seeing for the first time in who knows how long.
Dobbins Lloydminster is planning to open a kitchen at the store soon to offer more variety to customers. The Polar Bear Splash is continuing to raise money for Border City Connects, with one of our own getting involved.
All right, here we go. For Border City Connects, the Polar Plunge! Woo! Woo!
Real Country's Heather Klages did her part, along with many Lloydminster residents who submitted videos to help raise money for Border City Connects. The video features many in the community who did have some fun with the challenge.
We've had great support from the fire department, RCMP, with City Hall. We've had the mayor and a couple of councillors, a number of different business individuals, other nonprofits. So we've had a really good cross-section of the community.
So far, they have raised over $14,000 as of Thursday. Vagnon says that fundraisers like these are crucial for the organization.
We only get about 5% of our funds from the government. So the majority of ours are fundraised. So yeah, it's very important to keep the operations going. So it's critical that we have these dollars.
People can still submit videos until April 16th, but will not be entered for the grand prize. You can still donate until the 16th at bordercityconnects.com/polarbearsplash. Now our Shelby Clark will take a first look at your weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Right now, sitting in the border city, we are at a high of 10 with a little mix of some sun and clouds, but we did warm up later on in the day, as you did notice, so it's a bit warmer, but not as warm as we'd like it to be, but you will see it will warm up through the week as we keep going. Now, looking at temperatures across central Alberta and Saskatchewan, on the Alberta side, we're seeing a bit warmer temps with Rocky Mountain House, Red Deer, and Edson all at 12 degrees. Jasper's at 11, and Whitecourt is at 10, while Athabasca is a little bit chillier at 9 degrees. Now, looking on the Saskatchewan side here, Lloydminster, of course, is at 10, while Cold Lake and Meadow Lake and Prince Albert are all at 10 as well. Melfort's at 8, and Saskatoon is at 11 degrees, and North Battleford is at 9 degrees. Now moving into North Battleford overnight, they are sitting at 1 degrees overnight, and they will see a little bit of clouds in the skies. And tomorrow they're going to warm up a lot more at 14 degrees. So I think they're all looking forward to seeing that. Moving into Cold Lake overnight, they're going to be sitting at -1 degrees with a little bit of cloud as well. And tomorrow it's going to be a bit warmer at 12. So it's going to be a mix of some sun and clouds. Here in Lloydminster, we're going to be overnight at 1 degrees as well with a little bit of clouds. And tomorrow it's going to warm up, like I was saying, at 14 degrees. So make sure you go out there and enjoy that. Now moving into our 3-day forecast here. Tuesday, we're at a high of 14 with a mix of sun and clouds as well on Tuesday. And Wednesday is going to be the warmest day throughout our week with a high of 19 and a low of -1. So make sure you go outside and enjoy that. And we're moving a little bit more into those spring temperatures there. And Thursday, it's going to be a high of 7 with a little mix of some sun and clouds as well, and a low of a high of 2, and a wind chill with -8. That's a first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
While Alberta Beef Producers' annual general meeting wrapped up last month, the group continues to be busy in its spring schedule. After ABP's launch of its new information website, abpdaily.com, and ABP is thrilled with producers' response and is looking ahead to its new app in development.
We're in the process of finalizing an app that you'll be able to download to your smartphone. You can register at the bottom of the homepage to receive news alerts and be the first to hear when the app is available.
ABP will also be presenting its Environmental Stewardship Award, which is usually handed out in December, to the 2020 winner, Deer Creek Livestock Company, in the coming months.
And we typically present our Environmental Stewardship Award during the AGM, but we'll be adding that to the list of things we're doing a little differently this year and presenting it during a producer town hall in the spring.
The Canadian Beef Industry Conference is also ahead for ABP, as the event will be held virtually again this summer. Now we'll take a look at your egg prices. Saturday saw the NCAA's Final Four of the men's March Madness bracket. Baylor was able to defeat Houston 78-59, while the nation's #1 team, Gonzaga, was able to just sneak by. Evan Kenny and Eric Bay have more.
Well, last Friday saw the women's bracket of March Madness finish up. Tonight we will see the men's side finish up, as the #1 from the West will take on the #1 from the South, Gonzaga versus Baylor. Joining me today to break this down is Eric Bay. Eric, thank you for taking this time.
Yeah, two big teams and very evenly matched teams going for the championship. Exactly what you want to see to end March Madness.
For sure, and two #1 seeds, Eric. We don't really see this that often. And Eric, we almost didn't see it at all on Saturday. Overtime, Gonzaga just was able to pull out the buzzer beater win versus UCLA, taking that one just by 3 points, 93-90. And Eric, I think those last couple seconds of that game is really what describes March Madness the best. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, those last few seconds, you could even say that about the entire game. There were some major swings where Gonzaga was up, then UCLA was coming back, and they were up, and it was really back and forth, and exactly what you want from a Final Four game between a #1 and a #11 seed, something you don't really expect to see, but was an amazing game and a crazy score, 93-90, just encapsulated by that amazing finish.
Now, Eric, when you talk about championship teams, in whatever sport it may be, a lot of time you talk about going through adversity. This Gonzaga team has not gone through adversity at all this year. 0 losses on the season. This last game, that 3-point win, was their closest. Before that, they had won by 5 on December 2nd. Versus Baylor, they did take 2 losses throughout this season, and they have played some more challenging games, playing more ranked teams. Their 2 losses coming against the number 12 Kansas and the number 5 Oklahoma State. What do you think about adversity going into this finals, and do you think it'll play a factor in this game?
I think there'll be a factor for sure. Obviously, who can rise above that adversity will always be important. But I think that Gonzaga, while maybe not seeing as much of it throughout the season, they really proved here in this semifinal matchup against UCLA that they could handle adversity. I mean, this was a team that they were 14-point overdogs against. You know, they were not supposed to be in tight against UCLA. This game should have never seen overtime if you look at what many experts kind of picked, and they were close all the way throughout. So I think that just going through that game and coming to this, I think the one thing that we'll have to see if Gonzaga can move through is if there's any sort of letdown, you know, after a big win like that and then moving into a championship game. But as for adversity, I think both teams, especially in a COVID year, have really gone through it in their own way. And so that won't be a huge thing in my mind that one has really seen more than the other.
You know, and Eric, talking adversity in their own way, even within games, having to battle back, you know, even if it is just a couple-point deficit. I can think back earlier in this March Madness tournament when they played Oklahoma. It was a very back-and-forth game. So they did have to battle adversity, just a little different than what Baylor had to, per se. And like you said, it'll be huge to see if they can ride this momentum into this championship game. You know, if they do come out flat, Baylor is a hard team to come back against. They are the top defense, arguably in the nation, but for sure out of these two teams, they are the better defense. But saying that Gonzaga is the better offense, both of them are just by slim margins there. But Eric, offense versus defense, two Goliaths in this game. What do you think? Do you like the defense taking the championship or the offense here?
It's hard to say. I mean, like you say, both these teams match up incredibly well with each other. And from the one side of it, you can look to Baylor's defense with Davion Mitchell, the best defensive player in the nation, and what this entire team does, not only on the defensive glass, but also offensively rebounding, and they can shoot the 3-ball. Meanwhile, on the other side, Gonzaga also very good defensively, but that offense is really the star. They're able to make some amazing passes and find Drew Timme wide open for an easy points in the paint. So it's really going to be tough for me to say which one you kind of lean towards, because in my mind, basically they kind of even out and stack up very nicely against each other.
And each of them were the two of the top teams in point differential throughout this season. Gonzaga averaged 91.6 points per game. Baylor, meanwhile, 82.8, so not a whole lot of spread there. And then on the defensive side, Baylor only allowed 65.3 points per game this season, while Gonzaga allowed 69.2. So while there are the favorites there, it isn't by a whole lot of spread there, Eric. You know, getting down to the wire here, I guess let's just go for it. Who do you have winning this game, Eric?
I'm going to stick with my pick from the start of March Madness. I have to go Gonzaga. I just think that their offense is slightly better. They have this adversity from this past game. They'll continue to ride that momentum and become the first undefeated team since 1976.
Now, Eric, to start off this tournament, my bracket, I also had Gonzaga winning, but just watching, you know, how well they've done, I'm going to go with the old saying, defense wins championships, and I'm going to take Baylor. Now, my player to watch for this one will be Jared Butler, another guard there. You already mentioned Davion Mitchell, who takes care of the defense. Butler really carries Baylor's offense here. He averaged 17 points throughout the season, as well contributes, leading the team in steals. He was also an All-American second team. Eric, wrapping things up, who's your player to watch tonight?
Joel Ayayi, you know, he came up big here against UCLA, a career high 22 points when a guy, their star, Corey Kispert, wasn't getting the looks that you maybe want to see. So he's a guy I think will have to step up no matter who is scoring buckets for Gonzaga. That fourth guy for Gonzaga will be huge.
Well, Eric, no matter who takes the championship in this one, it should be an exciting game, and it should be a close one, entertaining one to watch.
Now our Shelby Clark will take another look at your weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. As we take another look at your weather forecast here with temperatures across the region, as you can see, we're ranging from that 11 to 10 degree mark here. On the Saskatchewan side, we're looking at North Battleford's at 9 degrees, while Maidstone is at 11, St. Walburg is at 9, and Meadow Lake and Pearson are also at 10 degrees. Isle La Crosse is a bit chillier at 5 degrees, while Green Lake is at 9, and Macklin, down in Macklin's a bit warmer at 15. Now looking at our Alberta side here, 11 in Provost, Wainwright, Vegreville. St. Paul is a little bit chillier at 8 degrees. Lac La Biche is at 10, while Cold Lake is also at 10, and Marwayne is also around that degree mark. Now moving into our northern region here, high level is at 7, while also is Peace River. Grand Prairie's a bit warmer at the double digits there at 10 degrees. Slave Lake is a little bit chillier at 4 degrees there. Fort McMurray is at 11, and Fort Chipewyan is at 3. Moving to this side here, Flin Flon is at 4 degrees, while La Loche, Buffalo Narrows, and La Ronge are all at 5. South End is a bit chillier at 3 degrees, and Wollaston Lake is a lot chillier in those minuses still. They're at -1, and Uranium City and Stony Rapids are both at 0. Now moving into the southern region, they're a little bit warmer there with in those double-digit range. Estevan is at 13, and Regina is at 11, as well as in Kindersley. Swift Current is at 10 degrees, and Moose Jaw is a bit warmer at 12, and Yorkton is at 10. Now on this side, Lethbridge, Calgary is at 10 degrees, and Coronation and Medicine are at 11, and Banff is a bit chillier at 7 degrees. Now looking at temperatures over the region overnight, as you can see, -1 is a lot popular with the temperatures overnight, with a little bit of cloudy skies. Meadow Lake, Paradise Hill, Miranim, Provost, and Pearson are all at -1. Isle La Crosse is going to be seeing -3 overnight, so a little bit chillier there. Bonnyville and Wainwright are both at 0, and Unity will be at +1 overnight. Now looking at temperatures tomorrow, we're seeing a little bit warmer temperatures, as you can see there, ranging from around 14 degrees up to 16, the highest in Macklin. But here in Lloydminster, of course, we're going to be seeing 14 tomorrow, so go out and enjoy that sun, and Wednesday will be a lot warmer. Now looking at our 7-day forecast, Tuesday is going to be a high of 14 with a little bit of cloud coverage. Across the board, you can see it's going to be a popular mix of some sun and clouds. Wednesday is going to be a lot warmer at 19, so we're almost close to hitting that 20-degree range mark there, but so close. Thursday, we're starting off this weekend having a little drop on Thursday at a high of 7 degrees, but with a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. Friday and Saturday, we're moving back up into that double-degree range mark at 13 on Friday and 10 on Saturday, but with a lot more cloud coverage, so hopefully we'll see some more sun as we go throughout the week. Sunday, we're dropping down to 5 degrees there with a lot more sun, and Monday, we're starting off next week with a high of 7. That's another look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
I'm joined here with Ryan LeBlanc from the Lloydminster Rescue Squad. Can you tell us more on the Water Wish update the Rescue Squad has posted about?
Yeah, you bet. So we started this project back in September of last year, where we responded to numerous water-related emergencies last year, and since then we've identified a few gaps where we're lacking in some of our equipment. So one of those things was some of our underwater scanning technology, and we thought, what better way to add a new boat for our dive team as well as our water team. It's got some of the highest capable water scanning equipment that you can get. So some of those things are vital when we're scanning the waters for a lost one or trying to recover a loved one for a family. Some of the other things we've purchased are a new ROV, or a remotely operated underwater vehicle. That also has some underwater scanning capabilities. It has sonar on it, as well as a manipulator arm. So we're able to grab onto items under the water while keeping our divers on the surface. So it kind of mitigates some risk for our dive team. And along with our dive team, we bought some dive computer for our divers as well, and new dry suits. So we're excited. It's some new equipment we're definitely needing for the work that we're doing.
And how has support been with the Lloydminster Rescue Squad throughout COVID-19?
Like I said, we started this project last year, and it's just been unbelievable. We've applied for a few grants and have been successful. We've had a few local businesses jump on board with our Water Wish project. And it's amazing to see. Like we've raised just over $115,000 since last year, and we got about 60,000 left to go, 59,000 left to go, and the project will be paid for. So we're super excited. We're on the tailing end of the funding for it. So
And since making this post, has there been lots of interaction so far?
yeah, we've had a few corporations reach out and ask how they're able to help, and it's heartwarming to know that the community has our back.
And how does it feel like to the rescue squad, how supportive it's been from the community so far with raising this money towards all this equipment?
Again, without the support of the community, we wouldn't be able to do this work. We all put in hours and hours of training to be able to do this type of work, and one of our members had voiced that all the hours we put in, it feels like it's worth it when we get the support back from the community. So I'm thankful for the businesses that have partnered with us and the businesses that have stepped up to allow us to be able to obtain this equipment and put it to good use.
And for people wondering that don't really know quite all the details yet, how can they help support the rescue squad right now with this Water Wish update?
Yeah, so they can phone us or send us an email. Look us up on our website, get our contact information, and give us a shout. Send us an email or on social media. They can get a hold of us. We're like I said, we're still raising for, another I think $60,000 that we need to pay the project off, but a lot of the equipment has been ordered. We're putting I know the boat into service at the end of April here, so we're excited to get that back from Gibbons.
And is there anything else you'd like to add, Ryan?
Oh, just again, thank you to the companies and individuals that have supported our Water Wish project. It's definitely nice to know that we're able to do this work. So thank you for the support.
Perfect. And I think it's really great to see how amazing the support has been from the community. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Today on Primetime Local News, I'm joined by Paige Yaremko. She is the owner of Underground Local Treasures, a new store that opened up a few months ago in Vermilion. Now, it has a unique concept. So, Paige, first of all, just tell me a little bit about your store.
Underground Local Treasures is, it's been something that's been on my mind for like the last 3 years. I used to be an avid farmer's market lady that I'd set up my table and everything all the time and try to sell some goods that I made. And yeah, the opportunity came up in the Craig's building here. They had an extra spot. So I just thought it'd be the perfect place for this little area. So basically what it is right now I have about 45 vendors downstairs. They all pay for their little spot for the month and they bring in whatever they want to sell. And honestly, it's like probably the most rewarding business you can have because just every time somebody sells something, you're excited for that person. And yeah, it's just neat because there's so many different items. So it's like, it's really a gift shop with all locally made items.
You mentioned that you guys have 40 vendors there. Can you just kind of give some examples of the different types of products that you have at the store?
So I have one lady who's a baker. So she often brings in cakes and cupcakes, and she just started doing her specialty icing that you can pour over ice cream. So it's really good. We have crocheters, sewers, knitters. I have metalwork. So there's lots of signs down there. There's wooden signs that a lady makes for your home decor. There's pillows and blankets, and like, it's really a one-stop shop, whether you're doing like a home decor reno type thing. We have entryway benches that are made with rustic wood, very pretty stuff. And then it's also lots of smaller items for gift shop, kind of birthday presents for kids and stuff. So you can get like, I don't know, crayons. There's a lady who makes really neat crown stuff for kids, and there's baby onesies, and yeah, all those kind of things.
Can you just talk a little bit more about what inspired you to create this store?
So a big part of it was I have a sister in BC, and they're huge on these things. These stores are everywhere in BC, and so that kind of inspired me a bit. And like I said, going to the farmers market myself as a young mom, I would have to go and get a babysitter to watch my kids. I'd have to pack up the car, go to the farmers market, set up my table, unload the car, and then you sit there for 4 hours, and then you have to do it all in reverse. And I was paying for a babysitter, I was paying for my table. It was a lot of work, and so in the end, I just figured this is like the cat's meow for anybody who kind of struggles with that, because we do all the work here. You drop your stuff off, you make your product that you love making, and everything else is on me. I have to do the sales and I have to do the staffing and paying. So yeah, really behind it all was kind of that I had been there, done that, and it's a lot of work.
And if there's people out there that are interested in maybe getting their product into your store, are you still accepting new vendors, and how would they go about that process?
For sure. Like I always am accepting new vendors. I just had 2 more come in today, and I have like 2 more, I think, coming in next week. So there's always new items on. I'll always make room for people somehow. And for sure. So you just go to either my Facebook page, Underground Local Treasures, or you can email me at undergroundlocaltreasures@gmail.com, and I'll get you set up with all the information you need.
And you started a few months ago, you opened for the first time. Can you just talk about what the reaction from the Vermilion community has been?
It's been so good. So I pushed to open December 1st because I thought the big time to get gifts is in before Christmas, and this would get people out there and give them a reason to come and check it out. And it was overwhelming. Like it was so neat to see how many people heard of me so fast. And we had a great support. And so people are just right now, what I have is like a little bio of each vendor downstairs. So people love to come in and read the bios and see who they're supporting. And the way that I always explain it to people is, when you're coming to a gift shop like this, you're actually supporting 40 people by making one purchase. You're not just supporting one store, you're supporting my staff, you're supporting their families, you're supporting the crafters. Like it's just so neat how just a $10 purchase makes waves. And the Vermilion community has really caught on to that, and they love it. So it's been good.
Just before we go, can you tell people where you're located and maybe your hours and how people can find you?
So Craig's Cornerstone here in Vermilion is on Main Street. If you haven't been yet, you definitely need to come, because there's 7 businesses all owned by female entrepreneurs here, which is kind of cool. So we're 5003 50th Ave, Vermilion, Main Street. We're open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 6 every single day. So yeah, minus Sundays. I like my Sundays off.
Thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today. And it was great to find out more information about an interesting new local business.
Yes, you betcha. Thank you so much for having me.
Now taking a final look at your 7-day forecast. Throughout the week on Tuesday, we're going to see some warmer temperatures, especially on Tuesday at a high of 14 and a high of 19 on Wednesday. So make sure to go out and enjoy that nice weather. Thursday, like I was saying, we're going to be dropping to a high of 7 on Thursday, but we'll see a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. This weekend, we'll be going back up to double digits with a high of 13 on Friday and a low of -5 with a little bit more cloud coverage. And Saturday with a high of 10, but around a 40% chance there are some precipitation. So hopefully I won't see that. And starting next week, we'll see a high of 5 and high of 7 on Sunday and Monday.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News, and happy Easter.